And then we'll be starting in a few minutes. So let me just write a note about what I'd like you all to grab today. I would have a blanket, bolster if you have it, that would be fantastic. And then a couple books. If you have those things, then you would be good to go. Yeah, good to go. So we're gonna wait a few more minutes and see. Can't tell if someone's here or not. There's a couple of you here. Okay, good. So we'll get started here in a few minutes. I hope everyone's doing great today. Another lovely day in quarantine. Really windy where I am. I don't know where you guys are at, but it's kind of windy out there. So it's been spending most of my time today inside. Usually I like to get out. It's been it's really windy. So I don't want to be breathing in all the pollen that's blowing around. Even though I don't have my allergies aren't too bad. A little bit of allergies, but yeah. So if you have allergies, it's probably best to stay indoors. And one of these days, my dog is going to trip off of the wires that I have out in my studio here. So yeah, we'll be starting here just in a minute. We'll let people get a chance for people to come. So if you're here, can you just give me a thumbs up, because I can't tell if someone's here or if it's just one person or if anybody's even there. Can you just give me a thumbs up so I know if someone's here and if you plan on staying for the class? So make sure we have people here. Just send me a thumbs up. You don't have to say anything other than that. So we're gonna get started in a couple of minutes. Just make sure that you have a blanket and a bolster, if you happen to have a bolster, so a bolster and blanket, and then a couple of blocks. I know that Breathe, they were selling props used, just some used props, and they're completely done selling whatever they were planning on selling. So Jen Lou was saying she got something like 900 emails of people wanting to buy used props. So I think a lot of people are investing a little bit in home props, and that's probably a good idea because even if the studio opens, it probably won't be tons of people in the room. So grabbing a few props is good. Good to see you, Mary. Good to see you. We'll get started here in a couple of minutes. So thanks for coming. Next week there won't be a community class. I'm getting ready. I have to go out of town. I actually have to go pick up my daughter. So I'm just going to be teaching my regular classes just to give me some space because I have to get ready to go. We're going to be driving back from Colorado. So wish me luck on that. And I'm going to go make my way over to your mat. So once again, just go ahead and grab a blanket and a bolster if you have a bolster, a blanket and a bolster, and then a couple of blocks. And if you have those items, you should be good to go. I don't know if your dog tracks in little leaves and stickly, prickly things, but I find them all over my house for my dog. And sometimes he leaves little gifts on my mat, which doesn't feel too great when I'm sitting on my mat and there are little prickly things there. So thanks so much for coming. My name is Joanne, and we're going to go ahead and get started this afternoon. So as you would, if you'll sit up nice and tall. So sitting up nice and tall, and then bring your gaze down or close your eyes. And we'll just settle in here. So bring your awareness to your breath. So allowing the inhale to gradually transition to a longer inhale, and then transitioning to a longer exhale as you're ready. So taking your time. And creating a little softness with the breath. Allowing the breath to be smooth with some intention, but soft, very rhythmic. Allowing the lower part of the body to get heavy and the upper part of the body to be a little bit lighter. And then inviting softness anywhere you think your body could use it. And then maybe closing your eyes if that's comfortable, and just noticing the natural flow of your torso as it sits elevated. Sometimes when we close our eyes, we have a little more access. So just a little subtle swaying from side to side. You probably wouldn't even notice it if you were looking at yourself. But there are these little subtle shifts as the body supports itself. And it's a memory that's deep in our system called a procedural memory that allows us to, or our body to, remember how to do basic functions. We don't even have to think about it. It's pretty amazing. I'm always amazed by that when I think about it, how the body, all it's able to do with just kind of on automatic pilot. And then when we injure something and a certain movement becomes more pronounced because of pain or inability to move in a certain way, then we can really appreciate what our bodies do most of the time automatically. And then as you're ready, let's inhale the arms out and up. Turn your palms up and gather. Palms face down as we lower the palms down, grounding the front side of the body. Let's do a couple more. Inhale. Palms turn up and we gather. Lower the hands down as we ground the back side of the body. Let's do one more. Inhaling, gathering, palms turn down. We'll ground right down the center channel. And then I'd like to set up in a little bit of a heart opener just to start, so a yin posture. So this is where if you have a bolster, it would come in handy. So grab your bolster and place your bolster at the bottom of your mat. Let me get this light out of view, but my screen is pretty wide. And then take your blanket, and we're going to just open it up to about this size. So not too big. And then roll the blanket from the shorter edge, just giving yourself a roll. And this is going to go underneath our back. So we've been doing a lot of this work because we need to, because we're home and we're sitting a lot. So the bolster or pillow or another blanket would be for underneath your knees. And then this blanket is going to go underneath our back. So the size of the roll may vary from person to person, depending on how often you do something like this, because if it feels ridiculously uncomfortable, you'll want to make the roll a little bit smaller, just to support however your back's feeling today. And then as you're ready, come all the way onto your back, extend the legs long. Arms can be in a cactus or out to the side, or you can lift the blanket up and bring your arm underneath the blanket. And some of us might be able to bring the arms above the head. Now, if you wanted to, you could come into a butterfly here with the soles of the feet together and the knees wide, feet sitting on the bolster or pillow or in front, so make it a little more supportive. So giving the hips an opportunity to open as well. The arms above the head is pretty juicy with this blanket underneath our back. So be mindful of that. With each exhale, allow that back body to soften. And then soften the muscles in the face. If you feel like you need to release the arms that are up there above your head, you can do that as well. Just make sure it's comfortable or fairly comfortable. Make sure you're not overdoing it in any way, either with the hips or with the back, with that blanket. We want to invite the back to open. And then with each exhale, invite the back of the heart to soften. Take advantage of the inhale in this back bend, sending the breath all the way to the front of the upper torso, creating space around the heart, sending the breath into the front part of the lungs. So we have two actions going on here with this blanket. One is softening the back body where it's resting, and one is expanding, creating space around the heart. So we do have a pattern, some of us, to hold tension around the heart. It's not a good idea to hold tension around the heart. We want to keep our heart free and spacious and soft. It's working very hard, and we want to give it the space it needs to continue to function without creating undue stress on it. And you can just even imagine or sense into that felt sense of noticing your own heartbeat. Is that possible? You might feel it in your ears, so you can check in with your ears to see if you feel that subtle pulse. We'll be here for 10 more breaths. And at any time today, if you need to take a child's pose or rest, then allow yourself to do that. No problem. It's Monday.
although the days blend together, but it is Monday. So I don't know how your Monday was. My Monday was pretty good. I got a lot done, so that's good. Productive Monday. And then as you're ready, just go ahead and bend the knees, place them on the pillow, or you can even push the pillow or bolster off to the side. And then press your feet into the floor, lift your hips and back up, and remove that blanket out to the side. Lower the hips back down. Bring the arms into a cactus position. And then inhale. As you exhale, lower the legs to the right, turn your gaze to the left. And then inhale everything to center. Exhaling, legs go left, gaze goes right. And then moving with your breath, take your time. Feel it the whole way. See if you can keep the feet stable so they're not sliding around on your mat as you move the knees from side to side, just to create a sense of grounding with the feet. And then come back to center. Hug your knees in towards the shoulders. Do a little rocking from side to side. Just releasing the back. And then come back to center. Place your hands right on top of your kneecaps and begin to circle the knees in big circles. And then change the direction so you're going the other way. And then releasing that effort, go ahead and lower the feet onto the floor. Let's extend the legs long and flex the toes by pulling the toes towards you. Inhale the arms up towards the ceiling. Maybe interlace the hands above your heart. Maybe if the hands are interlaced, you turn the palms up, reaching up towards the ceiling, and then slowly lower the arms above your head. So you're reaching through your heels and you're reaching through the hands. You're extending and lengthening the spine. Lifting out through the top of the head. And then go ahead and soften that. Turn your palms down, bend your elbows, lower the arms down by your side, and then bend your knees. Have the knees and feet hips distance apart. Arms can be by your side. We're doing some spinal undulation. So on the inhale, press the feet into the floor, lift the heart up. So you could slide your hand underneath your heart. It's like a cat-cow on your back. Press into your heels as you flatten the back. Tailbone will tilt up towards the ceiling. Inhale, heart lifts. Exhale, press into your heels and flatten. And then as you're doing this, just see if you can keep the muscles in the face soft. So softening the jaw. Softening the tongue, softening the eyes. And then just doing the spinal undulation, it's an old Feldenkrais move. It's super useful and super gentle. It can be gentle. I mean, anything on the back can be hard depending on if there's a situation you're dealing with. Good. And then come back to a stop. Let's come into a figure four. So cross your right ankle on top of your left thigh. Maybe you'll keep the left foot on the floor, or maybe you'll hug left knee in towards left shoulder. Keep the feet flexed. If you're hugging the left knee in, just drop the legs over to the left a little bit. And opening up the right side of the upper right leg, maybe moving into the glute piriformis, IT band, all of the lovely things that we like to avoid, and that gets super tight. These aren't pleasant areas to explore, I would say, but necessary. And then come back to center. Maybe extend that left foot up towards the ceiling. You're going to flex your foot if you're doing so. Nicely done. And then we'll release. Lower the foot. unwind. Let's pause for a moment, allowing the body to integrate what we just did. So pausing is a beautiful thing. Let's switch on to the other side. So crossing left ankle onto right thigh. Going on, you're hugging the right knee in. Interlace your hands either behind the thigh, on the right leg, or in front of the shin. Legs might come over to the right, any amount. Getting into that left hip, IT band, all of the things. So good. And then come back to center. Let's extend the right foot up. So flexing the feet. I don't know about you, but I'm waiting for the salons to open. I'm so over my hair right now. I really need a haircut badly. Just so over it. I think it's out of the awkward place and can kind of manage it now, but gosh, I'm missing my hair person. And then go ahead and lower. Let's go ahead and hug the knees in. Let's keep the knees nice and wide. Maybe rock from side to side. And then going on, you're going to move into a happy baby. So grabbing the outside of the feet, pulling the knees down towards the side ribs. And if you can't grab the feet, then grab your shins, grab the backs of the thighs. Don't force it. We want to make this a happy baby, not an unhappy baby. And if you're forcing it, so sometimes in class I'll see this, where the people can't get the feet up. So they'll be here. And, it's not horrible, but I'd rather you work your way up towards getting to the full expression of the posture. And when we're down here, we're missing this part of it. So you could always come here. Just see if you can keep the feet up. And if you have to keep the feet down a little bit, that's okay. And then eventually maybe you'll be able to grab the ankles, and then maybe you'll be able to grab the feet. So doing the natural transition or evolution of the posture versus fighting it. We don't want to fight things because our body, it just is going to fight it. And so that means it's going to be tension, it's going to grip and guard. And there's no point. Good. So let's go ahead and lower the feet down. Raise one arm above your head and roll onto your side, and then make your way onto your belly. So coming all the way down onto your belly. And then stack the hands. Move this guy out of the way. Stack your hands and rest the back of your head. Rest the forehead on the backs of the hands. There we go. That's what I wanted to say. And tops of the feet can rest on the mat to start. So we just want to get a little lengthening of the psoas. And we're going to do some standing, and then we're going to come back down and do some more on our backs. We only have an hour class today. But just allow yourself to get acclimated. And then let's tuck all 10 toes, like you're walking the toes towards your nose. Press back through your heels. Anchor your pubic bone. And then as you inhale, press the hands and the forearms into the floor. Lift your head and shoulders. Exhaling, we're going to lower back down. As you inhale, we lift. Exhale and lower. Let's do a couple more. Inhale and lift. Exhale and lower. And then one more, just because we can. Inhale and lift. Exhale and lower. Good. Then release the tops of the feet. Shift the hips from side to side. And then let's take our hands and bring the hands underneath the shoulders. Elbows come in towards the ribs. They don't have to be glued to the ribs, but towards the ribs, shoulders away from the ears. We're going to press the tops of the feet like crazy into your mat. We don't want the feet lifting because then you're going to take it in your lumbar. And we want to use the back muscles, strengthen those back muscles. Really important for your back. So as you inhale, pull with your fingertips, lift the heart up. Exhale, we're going to lower back down. On the inhale, you're going to pull and lift. Exhaling will lower. Let's do that a couple more times. Inhale, pull and lift. Exhale and lower. And then last one, inhale, pull, lift, exhale, and lower. And then as you're ready, let's make our way up into a puppy pose. So send the hips up and back, lower the heart down, keep the hips up. See if you can get your head or chin, or some of you, your chest maybe even on the floor, but the forearms are lifted. Again, a nice counter posture to all the sitting. Puppy pose is like a necessity right now. Super important. And then let's go ahead and walk the hands back. We'll come into child's pose. Knees go wide. Sit back on your heels. And then lowering down. Head can rest on the backs of the hands or on your mat or on a block. Just have it resting on something. Send the breath into the low back area, just enveloping the kidneys, creating space in the low back. Just filling the body with breath. It's a gift to ourselves that we have every time we breathe. We get to send this new, it's basically like just re-engaging life in the body. Every inhale. And then as you're ready, let's walk the hands over to the right side of your mat. Press your left hand into the floor. Pull the left heel down towards, pull the left sitting bone down towards your left heel. Send that breath way into the left side of the torso. And then release that effort. Let's walk our hands over to the other side. So coming over to the left side of your mat. Press the right hand into the floor. Pull the right sitting bone down towards your right heel. Sending the breath now way into the right side of the ribcage. And then walk your hands back to center, and let's make our way onto all fours. So once you're on all fours, the wrists will be underneath the shoulders. The knees are going to be underneath your hips. And let's walk the knees and the feet together, actually. Let's not have them underneath the hips. Maybe walk the hands a little bit further forward because we're going to come into a sunbird. And this, I think, will be a little more supportive. But actively press the hands into your mat. Have the fingers spread wide and evenly. And then extend the left leg behind you, flexing the toes. See if you can align the foot with your hip. And if you can always take a peek at your monitor to see where is it? Is it way up? Is it dropping down, to give yourself a little visual? And then if it's appropriate, extend the right arm forward, reaching through the fingertips, reaching through the back heel. And we'll be here for 3, 2, and 1. Lower the hand, lower the knee. And then let's change sides. Right leg comes behind you, flexing the toes. Left arm comes forward. And we'll be here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So landing the hand and landing the knee. Separate the knees so that they're about hips distance apart and tuck all 10 toes. Inhale here. Exhale, send the hips up and back. So downward dog, we're going to do a downward dog flow. Inhale, drop the knees back down to your mat. Exhale, hips come up, downward dog. And then moving with your breath. If this is too much, you can just do a traditional cat-cow, keeping the knees rooted on the mat. Always your choice. Take your time. And then the next time the hips come up and back, let's rest here. And we'll be here for 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and release your knees down. Now, if you have your blocks, this is where I would invite you to grab your blocks because we're going to do a little lunge flow. So have your blocks at the top of your mat. And if you don't have blocks, if you had books, if you had anything, that would be fine. And if you don't have anything, I'll show you a variation in a moment. So as you're ready, bring the right foot forward between the blocks. And if you have to help that right foot forward, you can do that. If you need to blanket your left knee, go ahead and do that as well. If it's too much to have it resting on the mat. And I find with my knees, it depends on the day.
Sometimes my knee's fine, otherwise I need a little support. Now, if you don't have the blocks, you can be here. Otherwise, your hands are on the blocks. And then inhale, just slowly come forward. Exhale, flow out of it. Inhale, coming forward. On your exhale, flow back out of it. And do that on your own. Take your time. Just easing forward and back. Take your time. And then the next time you come forward, let's rest in our lunge. Take the shoulders out of the equation. Take your face out of the equation, meaning don't stress your face. It causes wrinkles. We don't want that. And open up that left hip. So monitoring the sensation in the left hip, making sure that it's not screaming at you. It's just there's sensation, but it's not like building to no man's land. And then as you're ready, we're going to back out of that lunge, come into a runner's lunge. So flexing the foot, sitting back a little bit. And just getting into the hamstring. Our favorite. And then come forward, shifting the blocks forward, and then bring the right leg behind you. As you're ready, left foot comes forward, and then inhale, coming forward. Exhale, backing up. So just easing forward and back. Take your time. Take your time. And then the next time you come forward, whenever that is for you, we'll hang out here. And we'll be here for 3, 2, and 1. Let's back off the lunge completely, flexing the left foot. And then we'll be here for 3, 2, and 1. We'll come forward. Go ahead and release the blocks off to the side. Let's bring the left leg behind you. Tuck all 10 toes, walk your hands back towards your knees, and let's transition to a standing forward fold. So bend your knees a lot, have your belly on your thighs, and then release your head. Release your head and neck, nod your head yes, shake your head no. Maybe start just rocking the torso from side to side and using your hands to support you. Make sure the neck is released. So if your hamstrings are tight, it's very likely that you will take this in the neck. And then come over to the right foot and then just hang out here. A little extra tension on the right foot. Then walk through center and come over to the other side. And then come back to center. Bend your knees a lot. Place your hands on your hips and let's transition up to standing, coming into mountain. So arms by your side. Gaze can be down or eyes can be closed. Always your choice. And release the shoulders away from the ears. And just pause here. Finding your breath. And then noticing what it feels like to be upright, because we were on the floor for quite a bit. And then as you're ready, let's bring the left foot forward, the right foot back. Have the right heel down. Feet are hips distance apart. Bend your left knee. Activate the back leg. Keep the hips forward. So if you had headlights on your hips, they'd be shining forward. And then as you're ready, inhale the arms out and up. Exhale, reach through the fingertips. Recommit to the bend in your left knee. And recommit to the feet. So as the arms come up, we tend to lose the feet a little bit. Let's see if we can commit to that. You can always have the hands in front of the heart. If having the arms above your head is too much for your shoulders tonight, Always your choice. And we'll be here for 3, 2, 1. Turn your palms down and actively press the hands down towards the floor. And then turn forward so the toes in and the heels are out. I wish you guys could see what I can see right now. I'm looking out my window and there's a deer, like 2 deers, like a baby deer and deer on the other side of the fence. There's some open space behind me, and then there's wild turkeys. I have a lot of wild turkeys. Had no idea turkeys could fly, but they fly all the time. It's really fun and interesting out here. And then hands on the hips. Inhale, lift your heart up. Never a dull moment, always a nature show. Exhale, fold forward. Hands land on the floor. And then release your head. Lift the kneecaps up to engage the quads. So this is one of those great poses that we do to get the TREs going. This is one of the, and it's part of the TRE. TRE stands for tension release exercises. So people sometimes call the tremoring the TREs, but the tremoring is neurogenic tremoring. TREs are the series of exercises that were developed by Dr. David Berceli to come up to allow the tremors to activate. Walk your hands over to the right foot. And I don't do the TREs because they're like 5 exercises and it's pretty boring if we just did them. So I do yoga, and that way I can make it more unique and change it up. If I just did the TREs, it would be pretty boring. It would be the same thing every day. And I think there are other things we can do that are extremely beneficial in addition to the tremoring. And then walk your hands through center. Let's come over to the other side. So just a little clarification, because people call the tremoring the TREs, and that's neurogenic tremoring. TREs are just the exercises. And then come back to center. Turn your fingers so they're pointing behind you, and walk your hands through the legs. Lower the head down. And we'll be here for 3, 2, and 1. Let's bring the hands back underneath the shoulders. Bend your knees a lot. Place your hands on your hips, and with strong legs and a flat back, we'll come up to standing. And then I'd like to transition to the right side. So turn your right toes forward, and then turn facing the other way so we can make our way into Warrior 1 on this side. Bending your right knee. Once again, hips are forward. Recommit to this back leg. Recommit to the bend in the knee and the front. Inhale the arms out and up, and then exhale, reach through the fingertips. Recommit to the bend in the knee and the feet. And we'll be here for 3, 2, and 1. Turn your palms down. Actively press the hands down. Just a way to reground the feet. So important. And then let's turn to face the center again. We'll do one goddess just because we can. So turn the toes out. Bend the knees, place the hands on the thighs. Let's do a little shoulder drop first. So inhale. Exhale, drop right shoulder towards midline. Inhale, come out of it. Exhale, left shoulder drops. And then moving with your breath. Inhale, and then exhaling, taking your time, alternating the shoulders as they drop. And then finishing up on the left side where we started. Come back out of it, come up, keep the goddess legs. Let's just place the hands together in front of the heart. And we're gonna pulse here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming down for 3, 2, and 1. Good, let's come up, release your hands, heel toe the feet together. And then let's turn to the left, land the hands on the mat, step the legs back. Let's come into another downward dog. And walk out your dog. And then we'll lower the knees and then cross your ankles and come to a seat. And let's bring the soles of the feet together and the knees wide. Bring your hands behind you.
So pressing the hands into the floor, and the legs are active. You're pressing down towards your mat. So keeping this in active seated Baddha Konasana. The hands are behind you just to support you. And lifting out through the top of the head. Good. And then let's take the hands on the outside of the knees and push the knees together. And then squeeze the knees in towards the shoulders. Press the feet, the sitting bones, into your mat and lift out through the top of your head. Getting some length in the spine. Good. And release that effort. And what I would suggest we do now is we're going to come back down onto our back and we're going to do a little more work, but then we're going to go right into the tremoring. So if you wanted to have your blanket on your mat and have it opened up to halfway, that would be best if you want to have a blanket for the tremors, or you can keep it off to the side and then move it under your back in a moment when we get there. So always your choice. So setting up with the blanket or not, and then make your way onto your back and start with the knees bent. And just settle in. Lift the heart up, pull the shoulders away from the ears so the heart is a little lifted, blades come together on the back. And then just do a little flowing of the knees from side to side. Not quite a full windshield wiper, but just a little flowing. And then come back to center. Have the knees and feet hips distance apart and turn the palms down on your mat. Have the hands tucked in towards the pelvis. And then as you inhale, lift the hips up, squeeze the glutes at the top. Exhale, you're going to lower back down. Make this a little flow. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, we lower. Let's do two more. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, we lower. And last one. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, we lower. And then just pause here. And then we'll do a different variation. Well, not really a bridge at all, actually. We're going to inhale, bring the right arm up above your head and extend the left leg long. Keep the left foot lifted and keep the arm, and so neither one are landing on the floor. And then exhale, re-land the right arm and the left foot. Inhale, extend right leg and left arm. And then exhale and land. And then alternating sides. And we'll be here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then come back to center. And now we'll do another bridge variation. You can do exactly what we did before by lifting and lowering the hips, doing that flow, or adding in the arms if you want to. So as you're ready, start with the arms back down by your side. Inhale, hips lift up, arms might come above your head. Exhale, we lower the arms and the hips back down. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, we lower. And then inhale, we lift. Exhale, we lower. And let's do one more. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, we lower. And then walk the feet out to the side of your mat and then just do a little integration, moving the knees from side to side. And then come back to center and let's just do a little yin posture here to finish up before the tremors. So lift your hips up and slide your block or pillow or blanket underneath the hips or underneath the sacrum. So make sure that the block is located between the tailbone and the top of your pelvis. Don't have it go in the lumbar. Bad things happen. and the block goes into the lumbar. You can have the knees bent with the feet on the floor, or you could extend your legs long. And if the legs go long, flex the feet a little bit so that the toes are pointing up towards the ceiling. And then arms can be by your side or in a cactus position, or maybe even above your head if your shoulders can handle that. And at any time, you can release the arms and you can bend the knees. Always your choice. At any time. Just getting some lengthening of the psoas muscles. We won't be here for long. Yeah, just another minute. And then release your arms. You're going to bend your knees. Lift the hips up. Pull that block out to the side. Lower the hips back down. And then just windshield wiper the knees from side to side. A little integration. And then bring the knees back up to center. Have the soles of the feet together. Have the knees go wide. Arms go down by your side. And then as you're ready, lift the hips up. So moving into the tremoring. And you might feel a little rocking, a shaking, a bouncing, which is a common occurrence. And you're going to keep the hips lifted maybe for another minute or so, not too long. Always your choice. And then you can always take a break by lowering down and just giving the body a break. But this is the pivotal posture, so we want to keep those hips lifted if we can. So lifting the hips up is a good idea if that's possible for you. Maybe another 30 seconds. And then let's inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. And then lower your hips down. And then just rest for a moment. So what we're going to do next is we're going to keep the knees as far out to the side as they can go. So knees as far out to the side as they can go. Arms are going to be by your side, and the arms are going to be neutral, meaning they're not on the belly, they're not active, they're not above your head. If possible, they're right by your side, if that's possible. And if you need to have them on your belly or another place of comfort, of course do that. But we want to keep the upper body totally neutral. And then slowly just close the knees a couple of inches. And you might feel the legs begin to shake. You might see the legs begin to shake. You might not feel anything. But as we're transitioning into a neurogenic tremor, my dog's always looking at me like, who are you talking to? He's so confused. So, yeah, you might feel the legs begin to shake as they transition into a neurogenic tremor. A neurogenic means nervous system, and it's a release of the nervous system or release of stress in the body. Let's inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Yeah, and you're going to take that cleansing breath whenever you want to, because that's going to help you. So your legs might be shaking, they might not be. Some of us might close the legs a little more. And eventually, some of you might put the feet on the floor. Some of you might just feel like real activation on the inside of the thighs, so a burning and like lots of muscular energy engaged, because you are using muscular energy to hold the legs in place. And then the legs might get a little more active. They may not. Let's inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. And if you put the bottoms of the feet on the floor and the legs stop shaking, then go back to the soles of the feet together. because that really does help activate the tremor. So I'm not going to tremor that much. I'm demonstrating for the sake in case there's someone there that's new. If you wanted to take a break, you'll just straighten your legs and then just rest for a minute. You still might feel the energy flowing in the body. And then when you're ready, if you're ready, you'll come back to where you left off. And that might take a moment or two, but the legs will resume. They'll pick up where they left off. If you want to be done, you just move into Shavasana. And since we're moving towards the end of the class, I just want to mention that if you want to finish early, just allow yourself, a good 5 minutes to rest, a good 5 minutes, just because the body needs to settle down. So you don't want to just stop tremoring and get up and walk around. That's not a good idea. Let's inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. And the reason is that the nervous system needs to settle down. You want to let the nervous system settle down. You want to let the body settle down. You want to allow yourself to be grounded. I'm going to come out of the tremors. You stay put. It's hard for me to talk and tremor at the same time. But you want your body to settle down before you get up. Otherwise, you could feel a little foggy, a little out of sorts. Some people might feel a little relaxed or a little fatigued, and you just want to let things settle down. You just want to allow the body to integrate the process. So stopping early is not recommended for this particular modality, or really anything. It just, the integration is really crucial. It's almost like we do the practice, right? It's like washing your car without soap. You wash your car and you don't use soap, or brushing your teeth without flossing, or you just kind of brushing around the dirt. We want to make sure that everything's integrated and working together. And then inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. And then just allowing yourself to release. Now, you don't have to be thinking of anything or worrying about what's releasing. Your body's just releasing through its own intelligence what it feels like it needs to release at this moment. So you don't have to worry about what's happening. Your body's going to, through its intelligence, figure that out for you, which is the beauty of this practice. I'd say most of the time the releasing occurs through tremoring, through shaking, or bouncing or rocking, or any of the above. Sometimes people will shake and then they'll stop. The tremoring will stop, and then the body's kind of integrating, figuring out, where do I need to go next? So that would be a common thing that occurs. Sometimes the tremors do move to other parts of the body, the arms, the shoulders, the head, especially if you've had some type of physical trauma, like an injury or surgery. That's trauma to the body. So the tremors are going to areas where they might need to release some tension, because anytime there's trauma to the body, there's tension absorbed in that part of the body. So the body will figure out where it feels like it needs to go next. And then sometimes the body just needs to let off steam. We have too many stressors in the body. Life is intense, and the body just needs to release stress. So that could be true as well. And then the releasing can occur through the shaking, the tremoring, the rocking, or sometimes emotions will come up. Sometimes people get really warm. I don't know if you've ever done like a yoga class or a qigong class, and the qi is really moving. It's really flowing. You start to get hot as that energy flows. So that could be happening as well. And let's inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. So one more minute and then we'll stop. You can always take a break. One more minute and then we'll let you get on to your Monday evening activities. Let's inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth, And then as you're ready, let's go ahead and make our way out of the tremors. So extend your legs long, and then you can point and flex your toes, maybe circle the feet. And moving in a way that's a little more dynamic because that's going to allow the tremors to subside. And we want to make sure the tremors subside. For most people, they will subside pretty easily for most people. Some people might take a little longer, and you still might feel the vibration even in final rest, which is completely common. And then once you feel like the tremors have subsided, you can move into your final rest. So you can do that either on your back where you are right now, or you can move into a sideline position with a blanket or something between your knees just to take the pressure off the back and the psoas muscles. And if your tremors if you're having difficulty stopping them, sideline is better. That will likely help them subside if you're having an issue. But usually they for most people, they settle down pretty quickly. For most people, I'd say. And then let's inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. And then just allowing the body to relax here. So let the legs get heavy. Let the pelvis get heavy and root you down into your mat. Feel the connection with all the different parts of your back. Noticing what's touching, noticing what's not touching. And letting the arms get heavy. And relaxing the hands. Relaxing the jaw. Relaxing the throat, maybe swallowing a couple of times. And relaxing all of the muscles in your face. And as you inhale, inhale a sense of peacefulness. As you exhale, release anything that is no longer serving you. So as you inhale, inhale a sense of peace. And as you exhale, continue to eliminate anything that you no longer need. And let's rest for a few moments, shall we? Let's rest.
Begin to lengthen your breath. As you're ready, invite movement back into your body. So wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. Circle the wrists and ankles. And if you're on your side, stay where you are. If you are on your back, bend your knees, raise one arm above your head, and make your way onto your side. And then just pause on your side for a moment, just checking in with the breath, checking in with, any type of felt sense that you can feel at a deeper level. You still might feel tremoring or energy flowing in the body, which is really common. Noticing the heart, and just noticing anything else that arises here. It's always nice to do a check-in at the end of practice and check-in at the beginning of practice. You have a little bit of compare to. And then take your time and make your way to a seat as you're ready. Take your time. And then let's bring our arms out to the sides with the palms facing up. As you inhale, bring your arms out and up. Palms touch above your head. On the exhale, lower your hands in front of your heart and onto the mudra of gratitude. I'd like to close our practice tonight with one round of Om, joining me if you wish. Otherwise, feel free to listen. Let's all exhale together. And inhale. And we'll bow down towards our heart with gratitude for the practice, with gratitude for our bodies and all of the things we get to do in these bodies. And may any merits gained from our practice tonight benefit ourselves and all beings everywhere, especially those on the front lines of the COVID, fighting the pandemic and taking care of us so that we're all safe. I want to thank you all so much for showing up tonight. Really great practice. I will be back teaching on Zoom through Breathe on Wednesday, 10:30, yoga and neurogenic tremoring. And then Friday, restorative yoga at 5, and then noon on Sunday, just gentle yoga. Okay, so I look forward to seeing you again this week. I hope you're all staying healthy and well and safe, and I can't wait till I get to see you all in person. And hopefully that's going to be really soon, because I miss everybody. I miss you guys a lot. I miss teaching in the physical sense. All right, take care. Have a great rest of your night. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.